Welcome to the 2-Acre Homestead. Come along with us on our journey from a small suburban homestead lifestyle to our new lifestyle, homesteading in the rural countryside of southern Arizona. We'll share with you our tips, tricks, successes, and failures from both our past suburban lifestyle to our new rural lifestyle, all on the 2-Acre Homestead. Welcome back to the 2-Acre Homestead. I'm your host, Lisa. So last week we did an introduction and I gave you guys the background story of how we kind of really fell into homesteading, and it wasn't something that we were looking to do, but we kind of fell into it because of just that seed that had been planted from my grandfather. Growing up as a young girl, he taught me how to garden, and he taught me a lot of good things about gardening and how if you garden right and you take care of your soil, it'll take care of you, and you don't have to work so hard for it to take care of you. Those fond memories never left me. They left me for a little bit, but that seed needed to stay in the ground for a little bit before it germinated, and it germinated in my 30s. But that is not the why we chose to homestead. That's just how we got into it. So today I'm going to talk to you about the why we chose homesteading as our lifestyle. Prior to this, I had explained to you that my husband and I, we graduated, we're educated people, we lived a fabulous life, we, had good careers, we traveled a lot, learned different languages, we did a lot of stuff. We were very, very active. And when that seed started developing inside of me, that I wanted to start gardening and growing my own food, what I failed to tell you is at the same time that was happening, there was a crisis going on in our household. The crisis was one of health. In 2014, going into the year 2015, my husband started having serious digestive issues. He would just be curled up in the fetal position with digestive problems, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. So we kept going back and forth to the doctors, and they would just tell us ambiguously, it felt like they were almost making it up. And like they would say, he has IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, well, what's causing this? They couldn't answer it. There was no definitive, this is his problem, stay away from this food, or, nothing. Just take these pills and they'll make you feel better and go have a good life. The answers that we were getting from the medical community at that time was not satisfactory. At the same time, the other crisis that we were having was with my health as well, and that was I was constantly running on fatigue. I was constantly either in pain or just constantly tired, had no energy, and when I did have energy, I would garden. And it just seemed like it would just wipe me out. So I decided to take a step back actually in 2015 because I thought, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm trying to work. I was busy with my ministry and also gardening at the same time and hiking and, physically just really active. And so I decided to take a step back from everything. But I still was constantly dealing with fatigue and pain. And my doctors did not have an answer for me at all. All they would say is, "We think you have chronic fatigue syndrome." And that was their answer. And what causes it? Nothing. They, again, take this medication. You'll feel fine. You'll feel better. I felt worse and I felt more tired. So stopped taking the medication, started looking at, both my husband and I, we started looking at our food because we noticed something that was becoming a pattern. And that was when we ate exclusively from our gardens, we seemed to feel better. But when we started incorporating, the lifestyle that we had grown so accustomed to, which was, every Friday night we'd go out to eat, that was just like a given. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we'd go, to family, we'd go hang out with our family, but Friday and Saturday was a given. We were never at home and we never ate at home. So when we started dialing that back and started eating more food that we produced, we started physically feeling better and back to our old selves again. So what we discovered is the dietary problem that my husband had. At first, we thought it was wheat gluten because when he would eat things that had like any sort of bread, any sort of wheat gluten, it seemed like it really bothered him. But what we didn't connect was that when he would eat those kind of foods, guess what it had on it? Butter. We never connected that dot until a little bit later when we started taking out milk and any milk product. And lo and behold, that is what my husband's problem was. He could not process highly pasteurized milk products. So that is to say he's lactose intolerant. For myself, what I discovered is sugar. Now, I'm not diabetic, thankfully, but when I consume products that are high in sugar, processed sugar, I should say, it seems to cause a reaction in my body of inflammation. I get joint problems really, really quickly, and it makes me fatigued. Now, if I eat something that has organic sugar, something that I've made, I don't seem to have a problem. But if it's something that's processed, like corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, any of those processed sugars, my body immediately goes into shutdown mode. So as we were figuring this out all through the year of 2015, we started realizing the seriousness of homesteading. And that this really was more than just about, it's nice to grow, a few vegetables here and there and so forth. We started realizing the seriousness of being able to cook from home, from scratch, and the necessity to grow as much food as we possibly could. And that is why, to this day, we homestead, is because our health, we realize our bodies depend on that good, nutritious food that we are able to produce ourselves. Let me tell you, it was quite a lifestyle change for us because we were so immersed in the lifestyle that we had lived for years and the lifestyle that we were taught as children. You grow up, you get good jobs, you live these fantastic lives. For us, we chose at that time not to have children. We wanted to travel, and we have no regrets on the travel part. We absolutely love the fact that we've gotten to travel. We've gotten to do a lot in our ministry. We've got to help other people in other cultures, learn other languages. It's a big world out there, and we are so happy that we had that opportunity to do that. But we are equally happy with the lifestyle that we have chosen to live today, because we are able to enjoy our lives now a lot better. We don't have the stress that we did back then, but it is a lifestyle change, and it's a change in mentality. And even to this day, we've been homesteading now since 2014. And even today, as of the recording of this video, we are now in the year 2022, and we still struggle with some choices, because there are some times where we want to go out to eat, and there are sometimes we do. It's hard. It is a hard lifestyle that we've chosen, but every time it gets a little bit hard, we always reflect on why we chose this lifestyle to begin with. And as soon as we start thinking about the why, and we start looking back at those years, why we felt so terrible, and, there were some days I just couldn't, I'd have to call in sick. I couldn't get out of bed. It's because our health, because of what we were putting in our bodies. And now that we're healthy, we feel good. Why would we ever want to go back? So that's our why. You may have a different reason why. I don't know, but I would love to hear the reason why you've chosen to homestead, if that's something that you've been doing for a long time as well. Be sure to visit our homestead on Instagram, because we do post pictures from time to time. We don't post them all the time, but we do post pictures, and we are trying to stay up on our Instagram account. You can find us on Instagram at the 2 Acre Homestead. I'd love to hear why you are homesteading, or why you want to homestead. The next episode, we are going to be talking about how to get started homesteading. Hopefully, you've heard this podcast. If you've been sitting on the fence and you've been thinking, I would like to homestead, I'd like to live that lifestyle, and you're just trying to think, how in the world do I get started homesteading? Where do I begin? Do I start gardening? Do I keep chickens? Do I start with, tons of acreage? Or can I just start in my little apartment balcony or my little backyard? How do you get started in this lifestyle? We've got some advice, some tips and tricks on how to get started. So I hope you join me for the next podcast on getting started as a homesteader. Until next time, I hope that all is well in your world, and be safe out there.